Morning! What up? Holla dollar. What's going on, players? D-Mac, what's up in the house? Jordan, what's going on? J-Lo, what's going on? Mr. Freeman, what's going on? Was it really a carnage yesterday, Jordan? Market was down like 0.5%. But it was nice. It's always more fun when things fall and go up. Let's make sure everybody gets in. All right, cool. Let's get to wire. Hey, guys, we had a little bit of a pullback yesterday. You know, we had Wednesday. We had Federal Reserve Day. You know, there was a slight muted reaction to it. You know, we got like a little... This always happens on Fed Day. You'll get one move, then you'll get another move, and then the next day, you know, you'll fade that move. So essentially, essentially on Fed Day, it's like you got to fade the fade, and then fade that fade. And then that's usually where you end up at, give or take. So that's all you can really do. You know, you just play the action and see like kind of which way you end up on. But typically I leave during this because it just ends up being a big clusterfuck. And you just never end up with really any serious... I guess the word would be edge on it. You know, it's all us. You're just taking a wild guess. But overall, we needed the pullback. You know, we had been up like 6-7 days in a row. Having a couple days pullback, I think, is going to be good, especially if we can get it kind of down into these kind of zones. But as long as we hang out over, you know, yesterday's highs, we should be, yesterday's lows, you know, we should be able to build on something. If we break below, then, you know, we'll see what goes on. And we may have to take this thing, you know, and get back on the short train, you know, maybe down into the 50-day moving average. Just a couple things to be mindful of. Let's take a look at the gappers, see if there's any good news plays. And then I'll kind of give you a few longs and shorts that I think are probably going to be in play today. There's more than enough action on just like some different news plays. I think we should be okay. APOP, no small caps on Thursdays for me. CLSD. You know what? This is like a nice breakout too. I saw this thing already getting upgrades. Look at this thing getting upgrades to $18. You do have like a bigger breakout here. No small caps on Thursdays for me, so usually I probably take a pass on that. But both of those they have potential. You know, if you can play them right, you may get a little score out of them because they do have, you know, some interesting levels here. Like if you look back, you know, if you look at like a weekly chart here, right, this APOP has like a nice, very clean kind of spot into this like 7 area. And it looks like, you know, the market cap is probably, you know, sub 100 million. So you do have like this kind of movement if you can get there. It's not the easiest of traders, so not really my particular tour du jour. But, you know, some of you guys will like that stuff. Turks! Look at this fucking thing. Turks. So this thing is $100. It's just been grinding its balls down. I didn't see any PR on this thing yet. This is like the type of stock, like depending on how hot the market is, it can squeeze just due to the fact it looks like they signed some fucking contract or whatever. You know, we had one good shred on it this particular day. You know, I'm gonna add it to the list. I think I'm gonna add it to the list. I don't like small caps on Thursdays, but this one we may get if the spread is not too wild. I'll keep an eye on this for an ORB. I wouldn't make this top of the list for you guys though. You know, I'll watch it and let you guys know how it's forming throughout the trading day. And Knox. Now I do like this one. I think this is, if it can hold this 30 spot, hey chit. If it can hold this 30 spot, I think that this one's gonna have a good 30-ish spot. This one's got some potential on it. this is another beaten down name. This used to have like a $10 billion market cap on it. It actually has really good range, like when it wants to go. And you've got a little bit of a range break here. Now, there's a couple kind of, I would say, there's a couple, what's it called? Caveats on this one. It does tend to fade. Like it hasn't, look, it used to run hot, right? It has been like gapping up and fading quite a bit. And so like we need to see this thing like hold and kind of build out. It's got to build out a little bit of a pattern, at the open. Otherwise, it's just not going to be anything. I think that's top of the list for us. Junk, ZSL. This is a silver short. Silver is like, can never figure silver out. You think there's inflation, yet the silver goes down. All metals suck to play, though. They just do. You can like invest in them if they start the trend, but they are just shitty traders in general. Agent junk. Alright, let's talk about run here. So I do like this bottoming pattern on run. Like if you come in here, let me go to a daily chart. You can see here, like you've got yourself like a really nice kind of level that it took out yesterday, about 47. And it also broke over the 50-day moving average. So you got a nice kind of rounding bottom over here. I think probably you've got room up into this zone over here. It also just moves very well, and you can get good margin on it, so you can load the boat if you see if you see the setup. This one's got good range. The ATR is 3 on a $50 stock. That's not too bad, and it's got enough liquidity and all that kind of stuff. And if you see yesterday, this is kind of like what you want to see. Like, how does it react to like range breaks? Do you get the thrusts where like you want it to come? A lot of times like you can see a stock, it could be up 10, 15, 20%, but then you look at it and it's like half the move was made in the gap, and then it's just like all herky-jerky. Like this is like something that's very tradable. You can come in and like right with dips and rips and all that kind of fun stuff. That's a tradable stock. So I would add run. I would keep one more solar on your watch list. ENPH has got a nice kind of level that it's taken out too. And you've got some upside on this one. Used to be in the 200s. Also, this one's got a nice, good nice range on it. I've been watching SPWR too. The problem with this one is it fucking came right back in. It took out these MAs and it looked like a nice bottoming pattern here, and then whoop, came right back into the zone. So I took that one off the list. I think run is cleaner and ENPH is cleaner. The one problem with run is, look, it's gapping up 5% this morning. And it started moving yesterday because of an upgrade. So yesterday it started cooking because I got a fucking $90 upgrade or whatever, and so that's what kind of started to squeeze on it. It would have been ideal today to come in hot on the red to green on this, to chase it up 5% after like a big run the previous day. That's not ideal. We'll have to let it pull back, and then we'll kind of see what's going on it. Hey Marvin, what's starving Marvin? Man, what a name, Marv. Just call me Marv. That's nice. Hey, Ford is making a move in the pre-market. I actually was thinking this looks like a swing trade. This is not a very easy day trader, but you had like this move, this like 50% move here, and then you pulled back into, your SMA, 90 MA, and you got a remount here. You got a really nice kind of consolidation on this one. Yeah, I think this is probably a type of setup you put in like an IRA or a 401k. It's a little bit of a slower setup, but frankly, it's not that slow. Fucking moved pretty good this last thrust. Like this one, and Ford and GM are on the up and up. I think Ford has just a nicer chart. Cleaner levels. This is probably something, I'll be watching this one today, tuck some into my IRA or something like that. It's got a good look. See, FSR's got the same look. You got a pop up, it almost doubled. Now you came back into the zone. and now you're remounting. Like I think this one holds too. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing kind of rip over that 1940 in the next couple days and get it going. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Hey, this Fubo's got a level over here. I think I would keep an alert. I wouldn't really touch this thing till it gets closer to this 2950. But you can see here, like you've 1 test, 2 test, 3 test, 4 test. Yeah, if it pushes through about 2950, I'd start getting interested in it. That's when you'll probably see a little bit more of a release out of supply. That's got a good look to it. It is a notoriously shitty trader. You know, you tend to get like big up days, and then it'll sit around and fake you out for a few. It's more a matter of, that one hot day does it pay for, all the stress on it. But the overall look looks pretty good. I wouldn't really touch it unless it started to really kind of cook over this level. Then you could probably start to do it, because what happens is if you're under resistance and you're trying to do like intraday patterns under them, you don't have the release point, right? You haven't broken over any level of supply. So then what happens is you start to get kind of really herky-jerky results, but also the level of fake outs that you'll get when you're under the resistance spots, even if you have like a world-class intraday pattern, you just get faked out so many times. So just something to kind of be mindful of when you're looking at something like this. Like, let it start to clear where it needs to clear. Otherwise, it'll just move like crap. Let's take a look on the downside, just see if there's any kind of news plays out. CVAC. Damn. You know what? This is an ADR, and it's really just been a bitch to trade. But check this out. I mean, this is amazing. They got 47% efficacy. I mean, you could probably eat a fucking bag of spinach and get more than 40% efficacy against the Ronas. That's amazing. Okay, it's down 45%. We can't chase it down. Let's see though, like a lot of times these things will like pop up at the open, and then a lot of times they'll pop up at the open and then they'll fizzle out later. Like you can't chase anything down, no matter how shitty the news is. You almost can't chase anything down 40% at the open. But Vino. Yeah, I saw this go into the close. This is like untradeable though. Like, see how, you have to be real careful on these kind of small cap stocks. It's like, how is that tradable? Like, okay, you fake out, dump, you can do it, but man, you gotta have some dexterous spirit fingers to pull that shit off. NOVN, turd, BCTX, double turd, ride, quadruple turd. Look at, this daily chart is just disgusting. EXK, turd. AMC's gapping down 52%. Gut feeling, because it couldn't take this out. This thing is going to be done for a while. Maybe you get a reload spot around 40. Probably till then, leave it alone. You can see like you're gapping down below yesterday's lows. To me, this is starting to feel like a bleeder. You got your dead cat bounce here, but they're not holding. It's a turd. Beer goggles, no. Yeah, like you can see this BB's back to support here, but like this is just, to me, this looks like a bleeder. Like this is, right now you're getting oversold. Like you should theoretically bounce there, but it feels like a bleeder. Theoretically, you should bounce there, but that doesn't really mean anything. Junk. Alright, cool. Alright, so let's go into the regular, just happy-go-lucky watch list. I do think probably this mRNA, especially with CVAC, getting toasted, Probably can only be good for MRNA. You still over the old breakout spot? I think this is going to be worth a shot at some point. I'd rather it come back and test this 190 before it gets going, but I think you got an overall spot on it. Hey, we've got a couple rest days on this SE now. This thing is coming in hot now for, I think, a little breakout. You know, it was a little extended going into the resistance, but now you pull them back to the 9. I think this is probably an imminent breakout. It's coming any day at this point. It's got a good look to it. You know, maybe more of a swinger than a day trader. It does seem to have the ATR to day trade. So you can't give it a whirl, but, you know, not ideal per se. Docu. You know, out of all the tech stocks, this one's got the most momentum out of it. I think, you know, you still got some upside on this one. Now, if the market tanks, I've got a level here at 248. You know, we can short this piggy too, back down. You know, if the market doesn't hold, we can take this thing down under 241. If the market does actually start to push back, you know, we can always play for a flag break. So it's got a good overall look to it. I think crowd is another one. Like if the market holds up, we've got all-time highs probably in the cards on this one. ZM, now you got a nice, almost always after two big thrusts, a 3-day pullback is ideal. So, you know, you've got now 3 days of consolidation here, you know, while letting the EMAs catch up. I think that's probably top of the list. You know, this is another one too. We've got an inflection point on space. You know, if it breaks under 34, we can, you know, flip this thing short if we want. But it's going to make a tight move either way. If the market holds up, then we've got an easy flag. Oh, one last thing. CCIV had a big close on it yesterday. You had a $1.25 close on it. It oversold stock, right? It had been going down for about 4 or 5 days. You know, it came into the EMAs. You got a really nice close on it. I think that one's going to be pretty hot. Oxy's a good stock. Oxy's a swing stock. It actually broke its flag yesterday. There's a couple other ones out there. See this MRO? This is another oil stock that I think has a chance here. You should have a couple of these in your longer term accounts. You know, these have oil stocks that move like, you know, you can sit around and fart around in your rides and workhorses trying to catch like the little pops. But there's, you know, been some big opportunities in these this year. There's a lot of good action on this. Now these are more swing trade kind of names, but you do got a good location on this one. There's another one, Fang, you know, that's pretty good. That's been holding up. SM is another one. You see here, finally, it took like fucking 3 months and one shakeout. You had a flat top breakout on this. You got the 25. But now you've pulled back, started to round. That looks pretty good. Yeah, Armo's a turd. Good. Yeah, I would roll with a potential day 2 on Tal. Yeah, I think you can do that too. Good. Hey, moral of the story. Let's just go back into this. Anything can happen today. Watch yesterday's lows. If we rug pull, you know, this, if we got a small gap down right now, but if we don't go red to green and we pull it hard, then we'll have to, you know, flip short and, you know, do what we have to do. Bootcamp class starts tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure, as always, everybody's welcome to class. We got many things to talk about. Let's go have some fun today. Let's do what we do, which is the do-do. Later, Marv.